The email arrived at 11:58 p.m., 2 minutes before the year died. Subject line, alignment update. I was standing alone in the glass conference room, city lights blinking like a nervous system below me. Champagne laughter echoed somewhere down the hall, people celebrating futures they hadn't earned yet. I opened it. Your role is no longer aligned with the company's strategic direction. No signature, no thank you, no goodbye. Just execution by corporate euphemism. My reflection stared back at me from the dark glass, calm face, steady eyes. Inside, something folded inward, not broke, folded, carefully, like a blade being put away for later. My phone buzzed before I could breathe. A text. Come to the penthouse, now. His mother never used punctuation unless it mattered. I took the elevator up, every floor a second ticking off my old life. When the doors opened, she was already waiting, silver hair perfect, posture unbending. She held an envelope like a weapon wrapped in linen. She didn't apologize. She handed it to me. $1 million, she said softly. Come back. Fix this. I smiled. Never. Her eyes flickered, just once. I walked out as fireworks detonated outside. The next morning, everything finally made sense. I spent the first hours of the new year doing nothing. That's how shock shows up in me. Stillness, precision, silence. He didn't call. Of course he didn't. He never liked mess. I was efficient, disposable, a role. I replayed the past year with surgical attention. The late meetings that didn't require me anymore, the sudden privacy screens, the way his voice softened on calls he took in hallways, and her, the new consultant, young enough to flatter him, smart enough to mirror him, quiet enough to disappear when needed. I remembered the Christmas party, the way she stood too close, the way his hand found her back without thinking. I told myself it was paranoia. I told myself loyalty was louder than instinct. It wasn't. At 3:12 a.m., I opened the company's server. My access hadn't been revoked yet. Sloppy. Emotional decisions always leave fingerprints. Expense reports, hotel bookings, a secondary corporate card, issued in my name, used by him, used for her. I leaned back and closed my eyes. It wasn't just infidelity, it was substitution. I built the systems. I trained him to trust me. I made him look brilliant. And while I was aligning the company, he was aligning his life without me. Firing me wasn't the betrayal, it was the cleanup. I didn't confront him. I never do things when emotion is loud. I waited. I pulled phone records through an old compliance contact. Patterns emerged, predictable, almost lazy. Love always makes people careless. I reviewed emails, drafts never sent, calendar invites disguised as investor meetings. I watched, from across lobbies, from reflections in tinted glass, from silence. I saw how she wore my ideas like borrowed clothes, how he nodded the same way he used to when I spoke. I ordered a forensic audit under a shell request, flagged financial irregularities, routed copies to myself. Every night I slept 8 hours. Every morning I smiled. He started calling then. Let's talk. We owe each other clarity. I let the calls ring out, because clarity isn't something you give, it's something you take. The report arrived on January 14th, clean, precise, irrefutable. Misappropriation of funds, conflict of interest, breach of fiduciary duty, and the quietest line of all, unauthorized use of company resources to conceal personal relationship with subordinate. I printed it. I walked into the office I no longer worked in. Security didn't stop me. They still recognized power when they saw it. He was in the boardroom. She sat beside him. I placed the report in front of him. No words. He flipped pages, his face drained. She reached for his arm. He didn't notice. "Is this real?" she whispered. I finally spoke. "You were a placeholder," I said to her. "So was I." He looked up at me then, Eyes wild, mouth open, a man caught naked by his own arrogance. "I can explain." "I know," I said. "That's the problem." The board arrived 10 minutes later, because I had already called them, because strategy doesn't sleep. I watched as his story unraveled, as timelines collapsed, as she realized she wasn't chosen, just used. His mother entered last. She didn't look at him, she looked at me. I slid a second envelope across the table, my resignation, and the audit sent to regulators. "I declined your offer," I said evenly, "but I appreciate the severance." He fell apart then, not loudly, quietly, the worst way. She left without a word. The board voted. He was removed, effective immediately. I stood, buttoned my coat, walked out. I don't miss him. I miss the version of myself that believed loyalty was rare. It isn't. It's just inconvenient. The money never tempted me. Power always does, and I reclaimed mine the moment I said no. Some people mistake silence for weakness.